Once the words have been spoken that your child will likely pass away from their illness, then of course, that's something that constantly occupies your mind, often at the forefront and sometimes in the background. How you deal with that and how you spend your last time together, that looks different for every family, and sometimes for every family member as well. Sometimes it helps to make this time very conscious and special. Other times it's nice when everything feels as normal as possible. Some feel paralyzed and powerless at first and don't see any way to actively do anything. Others want to hold on to the hope until the very end that there's still a chance for a cure and they want to fight for it. Or they prefer to suppress the thought of the poor prognosis. Sometimes a lot of talking is needed, and sometimes it is just silence, and all of that is completely okay. In this video, we'll take a look together at what you can shape yourselves. And to do that, the first step is to find out what is important for your child right now. What is important for your child? What are its needs and what are its wishes? Sometimes children and teenagers want to experience things that seem totally banal and unspectacular, like being together as a family, meeting friends, going to school, just as much normality as possible. Some wishes your child will express on their own. You'll perceive others as parents without any words being needed, and some things you can also ask about. One idea for older children and teenagers is a special bucket or wish list. They write down all the things that they still want to do, experience, or achieve in life. Perhaps there's also something that needs to be resolved, or you want to see certain people one more time, or you have the desire to leave something behind that creates a memory. It's a good idea not to wait too long to have conversations about important topics. The psychosocial team will be happy to support you with these questions if you'd like. But some things also happen without much being said about them. For example, when children just naturally start making gifts for different people, or when teenagers pour their energy into something that will last. And when it comes to very special wishes, there are special organizations that are dedicated to fulfilling last wishes. For example, a visit to an amusement park that you otherwise couldn't afford, or if you dream of going to the sea one last time as a family. Your treatment team knows the local services available and can help you find the right contacts for your wishes. Some wishes, such as travel for example, should also be discussed with the treatment team. You can also get support here, for example, through contact with another clinic that can take over the treatment during your trip. Of course, all of this depends on how your child is doing. You might also notice that your child's needs fluctuate back and forth. Sometimes they'll seek a lot of closeness and affection, other times they'll withdraw and need a lot of time for themselves. There may be moments that feel heavy as lead, and others that are still light and carefree. All of this is of course completely normal and can also help you in dealing with the situation. And the other family members might also have special needs during this time. And that also applies to you as parents. Because often, in a situation like this, you're the first one to lose sight of yourself. At the same time, your needs are also valid and want to be acknowledged. This starts with physical needs. Yes, for example, enough sleep, food, drink, and exercise. And you also need space for your own feelings, either alone or in conversation with someone you can trust. And also space for moments where you can take some distance or just switch off. If you take good care of yourselves, you'll find new energy that ultimately benefits your child as well. When you're running on empty, that is not working so well. By the way, we've already made a separate video on the topic of self-care for parents. Feel free to check it out. Also, not everyone in the family may need the same thing, right? Of course, different needs are also valid, and it's good when family members can express them to one another. That's important, and sometimes it's also a way to simply endure that together as a family. There are also some support services for all family members together that you can use, for example, outpatient children's hospice services that can support you and your sick child or the siblings during this phase of life. In general, it's important to also keep the siblings and their needs in mind. There are also special services for them, and sometimes they wish for really very banal sounding things, like for example, a mom or a dad day, yes, or a shared playtime. That's also important. The psychosocial team at your clinic and the pediatric palliative care team will be happy to advise you to see what might be suitable or important for each family member. When it comes to shaping your time, you could also ask, what could be good for you as a family? Where can you have a good time and create shared memories? What gives you strength and what do you experience as supportive? Is it perhaps time in nature or certain music, a religious connection or a ritual? Or are they opportunities to be creative? There are many different ways you can consciously shape your time together or enjoy something as a group. And while doing so, as you take the time to truly appreciate these special moments, it's also perfectly okay to gently push the thought of death far, far away. Yes, and to park it somewhere in the very back corner of your mind. Especially when everything is so difficult, that can also do you good as a distraction. What's important is you are not alone in this situation, because the entire treatment team, whether that is inpatient or outpatient, stands by you and your child with all their might. And even if you as parents sometimes feel overwhelmed and helpless just by being there, you're already doing so much. Because one thing you can be sure about, you can be absolutely certain your child will feel your love and care, and that's what matters most.